Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we're going to talk about financial freedom and your future. Time is running out. What do I mean by that? Well, stay tuned. Come join us because you never know what we're going to talk about on the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, where only members of the channel on YouTube can be in the chat room. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I want to thank you so much for being here. We have a lot to talk about as usual. And members of the channel, if you're in the chat room, as you know, you can always discuss anything that you want to discuss with me and the rest of the crew here. Let's get into it. You saw the sneak preview right here. I'm going with Mr. Dividends. Sent me this today. There is a stock because financial freedom requires you to make investments buying assets. And here is one of those such assets that we talked about in 2021 when the stock price was only $40 a share. Think about that. And it went all the way up to $1,200. And then they did a 10-to-1 split. Now, there's an article on Finbold that talks about this NVIDIA ETF pays you half of your investment back each year. Do you want to know what the ETF is? It's the one we've been talking about for over a year and a half. Thanks to Mr. Dividend and the retiree, Victor Marrero. Brian P. also is Mr. Dividend. But I want to point out, I won't hold you too long. I'll just go down to the bottom. Specifically, Yield Max NVDA Option Income Strategy ETF, otherwise known NVDY, utilizes strategy of covered calls of NVIDIA shares mixed with the investments in short-term U.S. Treasuries to take advantage of the chip maker's high volatility. Is that awesome or what? How an NVDY offers a 50% annual dividend. That's how they do it, ladies and gentlemen. $25.59. Can you imagine getting like $12 a year on your dividends? You can expect to receive $13.18. There you go. It's going to break out into something a little bit differently, but just saying, again, you guys have always been in the right place at the right time, even though millions of other people, thousands of other people don't know. That's why you need to share the video, because there's people sitting at home right now that do not understand that they could have been receiving not only this year, the upside year to date. In fact, you know what? Let me go back. Oh, we can't. The upside, all this upside. Can you believe? Look at this. When it was $540, which was $400 in reality. But here it is, just in the last 9-10 months. Imagine what's happened over the last 3 years. So, right place, right time, and an article about Yield Max ETFs. If you still haven't downloaded any stock stop apps, please do so now. Down below in the description, below the box, you will find Robinhood and Webull. If you haven't heard of them, then please download the app, get your free shares of stock. That's the bonus you receive, and that's greatly appreciated. Also, let me get into the house tonight. And let's see, Beachfront Java. I put that in the chat room. We have our own Professor Ronti Val. Her and her family does the premium beans for Beachfront Java. Where does she get them from? Premium blended beans. And then, of course, whole ground, drip ground, fine ground for all you espresso aficionados. And if you have the Keurig, she doesn't leave you out. So make sure you go over there to Beachfront Java because it's starting to get chilly. And use the promo code SSN Lifestyle, all caps. Why SSN Lifestyle, all caps? Well, we make it simple for you. You get a discount for life after this first order. How sweet is that? All right. So go over there, show some love, get that coffee and tea. So many different varieties. I'm sure there's something that you'll like, and the price is right. Get stocked up for the wintertime. All right. Now, let's get into not only that article that we talked about, we have more. We have something else. Tonight, I'm using Brian P. He sends me some information seemingly every day, every other day. Mr. Dividend stays on top of his financial holdings. He told me he bought another 500 ULTY today. That is also a great stock to hold. That's a dividend stock. It dropped to under $10. So he got 500 shares. Now, this 500 shares, which he already has, I believe, 3,000 shares. So that means he has 3,500 shares. It might give out like 75 cents this month. So we'll talk about that shortly because this is Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you share the video so other people know about it. This channel. Know what's going on. All right. This is financial freedom is you got to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. I tried to give warnings when I first came out in 2018. People did listen when I said the middle class was going to be wiped out. And now it has proven 70% of the population in the United States is living paycheck to paycheck. I believe that connotates that the middle class has been wiped out. Now, I'm giving the next episode. You have less than 2.5 years because by 3 years' time, upper middle class is going to be wiped out. Why do I know this? Well, there's going to be less jobs, more people. Prices are going to go up by the corporations. And you're going to buy with whatever credit you have, whatever equity, refinance money you receive. That's where the spending spree will come as the Federal Reserve reduces their interest rate sometime in the next 2.5 months. Pretty simple scenario, quite frankly. So keep that in mind. Things are going to cost more. We only have 3 or 4 companies controlling almost every industry because it's monopolies now. And since America has seemingly allowed mergers after merger, after buyout, and now 3 or 4 companies, just like at your grocery store, which everybody has to go grocery shopping. And you have 4 companies that control grocery stores. They can price fix. They can price gouge because you have to buy, right? The difference is vehicles. Vehicles is not something you have to buy. So what do? They raise the prices astronomically over the last 2-3 years. And they're giving Lambo type of loan terms, 8 years, 10 years, crazy to buy a car. Most people are saying no, thank you. So we're going to find out over the next few years. A lot of auto workers right now make a nice, tidy sum if they're part of the union shop. So What's going to happen when you potentially lose a lot of auto worker jobs? That's thousands. What about other industries? You have to be prepared. How are you going to be prepared? Well, you're here tonight. That's how you're going to be prepared. And I broke out the YieldMaxETFs.com. Go check them out. NVDY. In fact, doggone it. I should have. Hold on a second. Let me go. I might not even be able to get it back. Yeah, I blew it. I think it was on. Yeah, there we go. I got it back. Okay. I like putting this into the chat room. If you can't get in the chat room tonight, there's a reason. Only members of the channel can get in the chat room this evening. Okay. Just keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons. And here we go. I'm putting a link to that article so people can actually go read it. And anybody that watched this on replay, it's there for you. So you'll be able to go check it out. Now, I will divert to one last thing, because again, this is what's actually needed for America and other countries. It's not just America that does this. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's not just America. It's a situation that we talked about on Monday where the Dominican Republic, that's right, pre-construction property, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry to buy pre-construction property in the Dominican Republic or Dubai or anywhere else for that matter. I mean, it could be Thailand, it could be Mexico, it could be Colombia. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of pre-construction projects around the world that you don't have to qualify for. Why? Because it's not built yet. But that's a winning scenario for you if you can buy at a low price, because in 2 to 3 years later, the price will be substantially higher. And what do I mean by substantially? Well, is 50% good enough? Is 100% good enough? Either way, those are pretty good returns. Plus, you put yourself in position to own an asset that you can hopefully rent out or live there or do long-term rentals month to month or annually, whatever you want to do. But that puts you in position because, again, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry, just like buying stocks. Nobody's stopping you. So the only other things that you can do is start your own business to get your financial freedom. But starting your own business is high risk, high rewards, right? So here we are. Bonds. I ache in bonds to help people get out of financial difficulty because the bonds pay a percentage. What people do not understand is I call it a derivative because all I have to do is be able to offer a bond similar to what the United States does. Corporations do this all the time, companies. And it's just basically a piece of paper that says, okay, I'll give you 3.5% in this case, right? It's that simple. 3.5%, right? Or 3.5 billion percentage wise. We're going to find out because I did not spree with 3.5 billion offering because B of A, they have so much in derivatives that they are not liquid. So it makes sense that they would do bonds. What rate are they going to do the bonds is the question, because you can get a treasury bond right now for 4%. What is a bank going to do is the $1 million question. The self-led deal yields only 1.32 percentage point above treasuries. Oh, so it is going to be above the treasuries after initial discussions of around 1.55 percentage point, said the person who asked not to be identified as details are private. Oh, so this isn't out yet. They're just, in fact, I'll just call this their cap. There's no way they're going to be giving out some 5%, 5.5% return. I don't see how that's happening, because that would be just like a bank. You could have a account in the bank and they could actually take on money that way without having to actually do anything else. So I don't understand, but okay. Let's just say it is. Here it is, maturing at 11 years. This is crazy. The second largest U.S. bank sold 3.5 billion of subordinated bonds in a single tranche, maturing in 11 years, which are callable after 10. Good God. Okay, that is crazy. Revenue from equity and fixed income currencies and commodities trading rose 12% to 4.93 billion in the third quarter, while investment banking also outperformed forecasts. Interesting. Okay, look at this. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs Group, and Morgan Stanley collectively sold 19.3 billion of high-grade bonds last week, following their quarterly reports. They're clawing back all this money that you guys put in the bank because they're not solvent. So how do you get solvent? You offer bonds, because bonds is a piece of paper. And then I'm going to tell you, we're going to give you some 2%, 1.5%, whatever the case may be, over 10 years. I'll give that back to you on an annual basis for 10 years. Why do people do this? I have no idea. This is not the financial freedom memoirs coming from this channel. I don't recommend buying bonds when you could be getting 10 to 12 to 15% return on your money, or up to 50% if you're on YieldMax ETFs. Okay, we can go by that article, but that's what I'm talking about. Why would you mess around with single digits unless you want to just be in a safe zone? Like ET, Energy Transfer, 7%, 7.5%, 7.8%. That's safe zone. JP Morgan has an ETF, JEPI, JEPQ, safe zone, 9.5, 10%. Why wouldn't you want to be in the safe zone? So this is what we're talking about. Be in the safe zone, and you can do high risk, high rewards. If you want high risk, high rewards, if you think 50% return is something, what if somebody said you can get 75% distribution? Go to YieldMax ETFs and you're going to be eyes wide open. You'll be like, holy smokes, is this right? I don't believe this. And then you go study. Then you go look it up, just like any other type of investment that you would do. So we got to get you guys on board. Now, we talk about this. You can see the Money Making Monday. We as a group went over at least 25 different dividend stocks, not just YieldMax ETFs, which has now they started out with only 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. Next thing you know, it's like they have 20 different ones, because they now allow you to short, which could be a thing that comes up in the future if you're going to short the stock market. I wouldn't recommend it right now, as the Federal Reserve reduce interest rates over the next year, but we'll see what happens. All right. But you have to be in the game. That's part of being here on the Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. You have to have assets that pay you, not assets that people call assets. So in case you're new here, a car in the driveway is not an asset. That doesn't make money for you. Some people would say, haha, Eric, I drive Uber and all that. I said, okay, fine. But the point is, that is an endless amount of repairs, maintenance, upkeep. And the only way you can make money is, yes, you or somebody else has to put in the work. That is not passive. That is not an asset. What is an asset is when you buy stocks and when you buy real estate and they go up in value while you're minding your own business, not having to work for it. And it's even better when you have money coming back. And that is our definition of an asset here. So do not be confused for falling for these old asset tricks. All that does is get you in debt. You need things that pay you back. There's no way around it. No exception, because after these next 3 years, there's no turning back. We are going to be in a situation, unless there's a catastrophic situation that goes down with our tax reform. And I do not think any United States tax reform is going to happen. Why? Because remember, our government is bribed. Our senators, our House of Representatives, our Supreme Court justices, they are all allowed to hang out with billionaires, millionaires, and they are able to give them bribe money, donations. They can set up super PACs and then say, we're backing your nomination for whatever you're running for, and put money in there and divert money to friends, family, and more. This is a third world. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But the point I'm trying to make is they're not caring about you. So you better start caring about you, because after this goes to the 85%, we're already close to 80% of people during the month, 78% of people during the month, in case you're new here, because most people get paid twice a month. 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck over the month. But when you start including inside the 30 days, 78% of people in America are living paycheck to paycheck, because one of their paychecks is automatically gone. So then they have to wait on the next one. And then after they get that one, they're paying off some of the bills and some of the new stuff, trying to get ahead. So it's 78% right now. In 3 years, 85% of the population will be living paycheck to paycheck. I first called the 5 years. It's 5 years. I've been on this channel 5 years. 3 more years, I'm retiring from doing YouTube. All right. I'm already been retired a long time ago, but on YouTube, I'm retired. So that's why I'm going to be Mr. Worldwide once again. And this is why I'm giving the warning before I you in 2 years and about 10 months. All right. So you guys are getting all the knowledge that you need, so you can share it with family, friends, your children, your grandchildren. Let them know that you play wherever the rich guys play. If you see the rich guys buying up stocks, you got to buy stocks. The rich guys, they own 93% of the stock market. The top 10% of the wealthiest people in America own 93% of the stock market. You have to ask yourself why. Why do they keep building casinos in Las Vegas? Seemingly an endless amount of money. You go where the money is. If you see people buying up real estate, you should be pre-construction. All right. We won't go with the pre-construction. We won't go with that. How about you want land? Then how about discount lots? I'll even stop this about the bonds, because the bonds is easy enough. Nobody's interested in 2, 3, 4, 5%, right? But even though you might want to be safe, so there's nothing wrong with bonds, but there's other vehicles out there that you can earn way more. And while you're sleeping, that's what you want, way more. So you can go to discountlots.com if you're interested in land. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. That's what we do here. And we don't have courses, by the way. We do have something, though, coming up in December. If you want to join us in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, for the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, that's a whole nother ball game. But right now, you can go to Discount Lots and find yourself with land, lots, acres. How about 5 acres, 2 acres, 10 acres, 25 acres? And then you have to do your homework. Why are you buying that land as an investor? Financial freedom, you want that? Well, then you have to have a plan. And speaking of that plan, we've been doing about only about 30 minutes or so. I guess I should give you a little preview of the SSN lifestyle, so you can see when I was younger what I used to be doing. Speaking of discount lots, because some of this right here that you're about to see, landauction.com used to do what Discount Lots is offering. Some of those properties that I perused through on Discount Lots were properties that Land Auction used to hold at live auctions. Of course, this is like 20 years ago, but this is what I was doing. And then I'll give you a little background. But check this out, as people say. This used to be on a infomercial, and an infomercial would be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And then every about 8 minutes, they put in this clip here. So then people will come on down to the live auctions. And the live auction was actually off the charts. because they had it set up where you had people on the phone that was calling in, because you would have a listing of all properties. You didn't have to go to the auction. And then you would have people live at the auction. So you had this pseudo frenzy, you would think, right? Well, what happens is when you have 150, maybe sometimes occasionally 175 to 200 lots and land and acreage, you don't have that many buyers, because what ends up happening is you'll have a room full of people, but what ends up happening is people only are there for maybe 3 or 4 properties. They're not there for the other 100. So how many people are there just for the 3 or 4 properties that you're interested in? So it drops off significantly after the person loses the bid. Well, those 4, 5, 10 people are like, well, that's too much for me. Let me go to the next one. That's too much for me. Well, I don't know about these other pieces of property. Check
to order that free brochure. Now is the time to do it. It's a free call and a free brochure. There's absolutely no obligation when you call. Do yourself a favor and order the free brochure and look it over. There are hundreds of properties to choose from. You may just be surprised at what you find. And like I said, it's free. So make that call. Start planning your future by owning real estate today. What did you think of the selection of properties that we had available for you?
Well, I thought that there was a vast selection of properties in different cities, in different counties, in different states. It was a spectacular, selection. And so for someone that does their homework, they can really get a lot of great buys.
There are a large variety of sizes and prices and locations, so I think that's fantastic. It just gives you a good opportunity to find the best parcel for you.
They have 100 or 150, 200 pieces of property, so there's something here for everybody. North Coast, South Coast, ocean, desert.
Well, actually, I've been on properties in California, in Utah, Nevada, Hawaii, and New Mexico.
What do you think of the variety of the property?
Absolutely. All over the United States. You guys have property in Hawaii, for God's sakes, for dirt cheap. I mean, you can't beat that.
$1,200 in Hawaii. 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,009. 10,000.
The land is selling like crazy in there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You saw the little glimpse of the young me in the right place at the right time, because then, just like now, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. So therefore, nobody can stop you, regardless of your background, regardless of anything. And when you can put down a little bit of $500 to $1,000 and buy land, and you know what you're going to do with it, or you know how much it's worth. Because remember, just like discount lots, just like when you buy any real estate, you have to know how much it's worth. Just like when you're starting a business, you have to figure out how much revenue do you think you can make. But why start a business? Why not stay on that freedom train and buy into a business like the Shark Tanks do? You should be a shark. Do not start a business, buy into a business. Why? Because then you know how much money you're going to make. It's not a gamble. Remember, 9 out of 10 businesses fail the first year. And never mind by year 3. 9 out of 10 of those that won in year 1 are out of business. So it's always an endless scenario when you own your own business. And generally, in this day and age, you have to worry about the workers. You have to worry about your inventory. You got to worry about what happens when you leave. You can't even go on vacation half the time. So it's very, very hard to rely on staff. Because remember, staff is not you. They're just getting a check. It's very hard to have an organization that is top tier for a long period of time. Very hard. All right. Joe Nay, a real estate investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with the icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says his tagline, what's good, SSN Nation? You know it's all good, man. We have people watching. We have people here. We have people learning. We have people hopefully going down below in the description box. If they don't have a Robinhood or Webull, get their free shares of stock. and you're here. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Thank you so much, and so do I. Everybody has to be doing well because there is no choice. Tomorrow's another day, another sunrise. What are you going to be doing? And what are you going to be doing with your disposable income is going to matter the most right now for the next 3 years, because something has to give. And unfortunately, those who don't make enough money, that is what's going to give. Plunder into darkness, potentially. If you think the homeless situation is bad now, what do you think is going to happen with the nation of people when 85% is living paycheck to paycheck? Brian P., Mr. Dividend has arrived. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon I humbly appreciate. And he says, with that tagline next to his name, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. I'm here. I'm breathing. My heart's doing the boom, boom. And hello, SSN family. I got the notification and saw the trailer. Thank you so much for that. He saw the trailer, got the notification, and he has to smash that like button for the trifecta. And he did. He smashed that like button for the trifecta. Everybody watching this, please make sure you smash that like button. Also, yesterday, as you very well know, I'm keeping track of this on the live streams just to show people, because I get tired of people saying, Eric, I don't know what you mean. That doesn't happen. Here we are. I'm back to my Instagram. Hold on, Brian P. I'm back to the Instagram. Go over to Instagram, sign up. Look, we're dropped back from 920 to 919 tonight. Remember the retiree Marrero? He signed up to make 920 last night, and I told him tomorrow we won't have 920. And here we are, 919, just like it's predicted. And by the end of the week, we'll probably be back down. Well, let's see. They'll probably take it down to 915, maybe. That's generally where it goes, 915, 916. For whatever reason, it seems like there's a cap. I don't get it. So social media is not open, is it, ladies and gentlemen? All right. That's why you got to smash the like button here. That's why you got to subscribe to the channel. That's why you have to share the videos, because our videos don't get out much, especially when we tell the real. It's real in the field up in here. We tell you how to do it, and we don't sugarcoat. All right, Brian P., he says, hey, Eric, MSTY is paying on Friday $4.12 a share. We are making money in here. Who has MSTY? That's another YoMax ETF stock, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? You want to know what's pretty wild is, let me go do something here. This is wild. This is too much for me. MSTY, we talked about, oh, no, I did something here. I don't want to do that. I got to go to the stock. I went to msty.com for sale. Of course it is. It's $30.67 a share at this moment. MSTY is MicroStrategy. If you don't know about that stock, Saylor, he buys Bitcoin. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars, if not $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. He keeps buying and reinvesting. And because Bitcoin goes up generally about almost 20 to 25% every year, MSTY does covered calls and a few other things that you should probably go check out. All right. So just keep that in mind as we peruse this situation, because at $4.12, you guys have to understand something. In just 1 month, and look here, Brian P. is saying he has 401 shares. That's incredible. So think about $1,600 is what this man is getting. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This is out here for you. I want to put something in perspective. $4.12. And then you divide it by, in case you want to learn how to get your return on your investment, first you go with what the return is. In this case, it's $4.12. Then you divide by your buy price. So I'm going to divide this by, let's just say $30, because I don't, well, hold on a second. Let me see. Wait a minute. What is the price? It's $30.67. So I'll do the real. Let's do $4.12. Congratulations, by the way. $4.12 is our return. Then you divide it by your investment, which is $30.67. Just in 1 month, this is 13.4 cents, 13.4%. Now, I want to caution everybody and say something. MSTY gives dividends every month. Every month, ladies and gentlemen. Every month. So 13% is what people would be dancing in the street for half of the time, going, oh, yeah, my annual return was 13%. I'm very happy. Imagine being able to get 13% on the stock just in 1 month. And over the course of the next year, I'll take 13, I'll take 20, I'll take 25, I'll take 30. The point we're trying to make is he's making money while he sleeps. He bought 400 shares, 400 shares. Now, that wasn't cheap. 400 shares times 30 is a lot of money, right? So what is that, 12,000, right? At the 30 price. But what if it was $40 a share? Just asking for friends. On average, that would be 16,000. But the question I have to ask you is, even if you spent 16,000, is it worth it to get a $1,600 check? I think most people would say yes. And next month you get another check. And I think most people would say, hell yeah, another, maybe not 1,600, maybe it's 500. But the point is, you just don't have MSTY. He has ULTY, which also pays. Probably he's going to get another couple $1,000 because I know how many shares he has of that stock this next payout. Then I know he has YMAG and YMAX, which pays out every Friday. WAMAG, YMAX, that's a YOMAX ETF every Friday, along with several others. All right. So this is why we want you to win for the playbook. All right. We have the playbook there for you. Joe Nay also says, I saw the trailer, got the notification, and I just smashed that like button. So he also did the trifecta, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's one last thing I should remember. I should go and do this because I keep talking about the SSN lifestyle, and I could have done it. Damn it. Here we go. SSN lifestyle. Let's go over here, and you could see very easily what's happening. It's not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, that's fine. We'll go a different route. Thank you. No problem, Mr. Dividend. You putting in the work, man. You're spending the tens. I see a baseball card there, Brian P. I can't really see the image, but is that Willie Mays? Yeah, I used to be a card collector as well. And I've actually had that card. That looks like Willie Mays. But I can't really tell because it's this big. I can't really tell. I can't. But that looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that's got to be Willie Mays' card. I used to have that card. That's why I saw it. I'm like, wait, that's Willie Mays. I'm pretty sure because there's certain stylings of 1970s cards. And by the way, that's a it's got to be like a 1970. Hell, it's something like a 72 maybe or 73. Let me know, Brian P, what year that is. I can't remember. But I used to have several of those cards because I used to collect back in the day. Those go up in value, by the way. Hey, Eric, my average is 2613. Oh, my God. It's even better. It wasn't higher. It was lower. Oh, MicroStrategy's rising. So the stock has risen very, very nice. You got an appreciation plus dividends. This is beautiful. Now it's up to 30. Oh, so you're making money more than anything. Yes. Yep. Willie Mays. Like I said, let me know if it's a 72 or 73 card, somewhere in there. 70 could even be a 71. I just can't. Damn, that's a long time ago for that card. But I know it's not in 1980. And I know I don't think it's not in the 60s. I think it was in the early 70s. 70s, 71, 72, I'm guessing, or 7. I can't. It's 3 years. Give me 3 years. Let me know what year that card is. Topps. I think it's a Topps card, by the way, as well. All right. Let's get down. By the way, speaking of that, the cards, collectibles. First of all, collectibles, art, anything like that, I don't consider them assets because they don't return anything back to you. But in the long run, they hold value and they're liquid. So what do I mean by liquid and hold value? I can sell a baseball card relatively quickly. All right. They go up in value tremendously the older they get. And artwork, the best appreciation asset that doesn't give you a return on money. But if you buy a nice piece of art that's literally known on the open market worldwide, 5 to 10 years later, it's damn near 30, 300%, 400%. It's insane. So you should be thinking of all these things. The old things about those watches, and people were going crazy over the last 3 or 4 years about watches. I've shown a few watches that I have, but they're not the watches that most people talk about because I'm not a watch guy. Like I can't spend 30, 50, 100 grand on watches. That doesn't make any sense. I find it cool that I say, let me get this $150, $100 watch that has all these calibrations to it. And I find that more fascinating than to waste all that money for something that most people don't wear. But if you love watches, great. But this thing about buying these Rolexes and Breitlings and all, Tag Heuer and all these guys, it's like putting money. I'll put it to you another way. I'll do it this way, just so I can illustrate for illustration purposes and business purposes. Mr. Dividend just said his dollar cost average was around $26 times 401 shares. $10,000 for a cheap Rolex, for instance, right? That cheap Rolex is not going to be making you no damn $1,600 this month. And it damn sure won't be making $500 or $600 or $800 or $1,000 next month. And the same $500 to $1,600 for every month for the year. So I have to ask you, if you even got $500 per month, which he's not, he's going to get more than that this month alone. That would be $6,000 per year. Your watch would have to go up to $16,000 on the resale market. And it's a hope and a prayer because just like now, when prices start coming back down to reality, nobody's going to be buying it for $16,000 next year. So why are you holding it other than if you love it? So what about the following year? Or what about if it's not 500? What if it's $1,000 every month? Because right now, 1,600 is coming out right now. What if it's just measly 1,000? And I say measly with the smirk. That would be $12,000 a year. Is your watch or asset, the liability or whatever you're calling an asset? If you're calling the watch an asset, if you're calling the car an asset, is it going to be worth double the price? I ask you. It's not. Unless you buy a limited edition supercar. Okay, that's about the only way. But now you're gonna have to be in the 250 to 350,000 plus range and up. All right, so just saying, everybody pick your poisons. But when you have guaranteed funds coming in while you're sleeping, why are you going to sweat about anything else? All right, it doesn't make much sense, especially in this day and age where you have a small, narrow margin. Financial freedom in your future is what I'm discussing tonight. So you're going to have to be in a planned financial plan. It has to be planned. You can't sit by and go, you know what? I'm going to rely on my 401k. I'm going to rely on my pension. I'm going to rely on this, that, and the other. Pensions, 401ks, anything can happen at any given time. Goldman Sachs on Monday shockingly said the economy could go to the frickin' Great Depression type stuff for the stock market and the economy overall. Talking about a 3% increase on the stock market annually. That would be like it's 1970 again for houses and the stock market. Imagine if your house only went up like 2 to 3% a year like it used to up until around 1980. I wonder what happened in 1980. History matters. 1980, Ronald Reagan comes in, talks about tax cut, tax breaks, trickle down theory. You know what that did? Well, that did several things. You started paying for the rich guys' tax cuts that they received, you and me, ordinary citizens. And the second side effect, now interest rates from the Federal Reserve were reduced. Now, all of a sudden, housing prices started rising more than 2 or 3% because now people can borrow, pay less per month for a higher priced home. And thus, off to the races for the last 40 plus years. And now 70% of the population are stuck paycheck to paycheck and hoping you have a job to get that paycheck from. So much for freedom. Guess what? The screws are going to continue to tighten. So are you going to be like Brian P? You're going to be like Joe Nay? You're going to be like myself? Or are you going to buy assets that pay you? Or are you going to keep playing around buying liabilities that mean nothing? The showboating. Let me get behind my podium right now. You're going to be out here showboating? Woo-hoo, look at me. For people who don't give a damn nor are going to save your ass for shit. That's right. Nobody's coming to save you. So therefore, when everybody doesn't have hardly any money except for Brian P., Joe Nay, myself, Victor Marrero, Mr. and Mrs. Cool, other people here in the SSN Nation wealth family who have been buying assets, but you understand 93% on the stock market of the stocks are owned by the top 10%. You want to know what else is funny? Everybody here tonight that has the icon next to their name, they know all these stats. That's why they got on it. Do you know the top 10% of the wealthiest, not only do they own 93% of the stocks, how about they own 70% of the wealth? The top 10% owns 70% of the wealth. You guys don't want to know the other number. How about less than 1% of the wealthiest own 50% of the wealth? Guess who owns the remaining 90% of the population owns 30% of the wealth? Do you understand 270 million people plus are sharing that little 30% pie? Meanwhile, about 35%, 35 million, are sharing 70% of the wealth. I wonder what the United States GDP is. You guys might want to start thinking about this because the next 3 years, it's game over for everybody who is not in the top 15% of the wealthiest. And I got bad news for you. You're going to have to reach for the stars. You're going to need $200,000 annually. I'm just saying. Unless United States and our allies can figure out how to reset without an actual destruction of your economy, depending on which country you're in, please let us know if you have an idea. Unfortunately, if you're not a member of the channel, you can't be in the chat room tonight. Only members of the channel can be in the chat room, but that doesn't mean you can't join us on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when everybody can be in the chat room. Now, before I end this early tonight, make sure you smash that like button. And if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. Also, I dropped a video. Speaking of pre-construction properties that I talked about earlier, we have something going on in the Dominican Republic, and it's going to be worldwide. I talked about Elements condominiums in Jarabacoa, Dominican Republic, a year to a year and a half ago. I have the video out. You can go check it out. But here's the bad news. A year and a half ago, when this first came out, there was no mention about it was going to be a condo hotel. Now, all of a sudden, Sonesta and the developers of Elements, they made an agreement that project is going to be a condo hotel. Surprise! Everybody thought they were going to live or rent their condo. I don't know Sonesta's rules. I made a video about this. I wish I can get their rules, but their rules aren't even on display. They have condo hotels already in the United States, New Orleans, Tempe, Arizona, Georgia, all over Texas. They have plenty of them. They're basically condominiums that you see every day in the United States, or luxury apartments, take your pick. And they're turning them into Sonesta ES Suites. I don't know what the ES stands for, but it's Sonesta ES Suites, which are condo hotels, but you as the person are paying for them. Again, I have several videos talking about do not buy condo hotels, in my opinion. I don't see how it's positive. Like, I'm going to use Brian P., for instance. He spent $10,000. Or, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, that's what it came out to. Let's just say $11,000 is his dollar cost average. He has 400 shares. Here's the problem. Those condos in Jarabacoa, they're going to cost you minimum $130,000 for a one bedroom. He spent $10,000. He's going to be getting more in profits for spending $10,000 than running around worrying about how long it's going to take to build this condo, pre-construction condo, and the rules that they're going to break out, because they're not breaking out the rules. It's unknown whether you can live there or whether you can only stay there 2 weeks out the year, and then the rest of the year it has to be rented out. But it's 50% return, not on your investment. It's 50% of your monthly rental that they're going to be taking out. Well, I don't really know, but my guess is traditionally it's 45 to 55%. So I'm going to say 50% is gone. So if you rent and you have a gross revenue of $2,000, you can rest assured your check is going to be $1,000 to $900. You have an HOA. You have a place that's 1,000 square feet. Your HOA is $3. That's $300 gone. Now you're down to $700. Then, because you did 40% on delivery, because the pre-construction payment plan is, let's call it 10% down, 50% during construction, 40% on delivery. That 40% is 40 grand. You can't get a loan in the United States for something out overseas, in this case, Dominican Republic. So what is going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. You're going to go down to the bank, because unless you're going to pay cash of around 60 grand on 130 grand, now they're going to tell you, you can have this. We'll give you a loan for 1 year. We'll give you a loan fixed for 8.5%. Do you understand that is $480 per month? Now, after you add that $300, you're at $780 per month. HOA and your loan. Did we talk about electricity yet? Which is not cheap in the DR. Have we talked about your water bill? No. We haven't even gotten there yet, have we? Now you understand how devastating it is when people buy these condo hotels. You could find yourself in a situation where you're making 3%, 4%, 1%, no percent paying in. Why set yourself up for that when you can easily see for $10 to $20 or $30,000, you could be getting $1,000 to $1,500 or more per month, and you allow your stock to reinvest. So therefore, you're making more money, and it's particularly when you have weekly payouts, and that is what is major here. All right, let's go. If you can't get in the chat room, I thank you so much for being here. On Wednesday nights, only members with the icon, members of the channel, are the only ones that can be in the chat room. So I want to let you know, on Friday nights and Monday nights or any other chat room, everybody can get in the chat room. All right. So I just want to let you guys know that. All right. We will see. I was waiting for Brian P. to let me know if it's a 1972, 1971 Willie Mays card. I'm waiting. He hasn't told me yet. I was anxiously waiting to see if I was right. All right. Once again, I'm going to probably stop this a little bit earlier. But what did I do? Here's what I did. This is what we talked about on Monday. So I'll give people a little love. Here goes something to look at. Check out this list. On the left, on the right-hand side, that first column, those are real estate investment trusts. You want to get like 10.5% up to around 16? Go check these out. The second column that starts with ET, 7.7%, lower risk. JEPI, ETF by JP Morgan, JEPQ by JP Morgan. MFA is at 11%. That's a real estate investment trust. And then, of course, the Vanguard Group and all those 30-some% year over year. So needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, we've been kicking ass, taking names for the last 3 years. All right. Nothing to sneeze at if somebody says, hey, I got 35% this year, or 32%, or 38%, or 50%. Nothing to sneeze at, because if Goldman Sachs is correct, you're going to wish you were getting those returns. And if Goldman Sachs is correct, I want all the dividends I can get. Because if YieldMax ETFs is still going to be in business, people are going to still trade stocks, right? Regardless. That's how it works. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I just want to let everybody know, don't give up. All right? Do not give up. Regardless of what happens, even right now, you may be having a hard time. The only thing you should be concentrating on, if you have a hard time, less cash flow, think about social media. You know something. You want that passive income? Time is running out. Get on it. There's TikTok. That's unbelievable. You can get paid. Instagram. You can get paid for posting videos and a lot of different things. YouTube. If you want to start a channel, you can get paid. You can have sponsors. You can do all kinds of things that if you're idle, or maybe even not, some people are going out on their lunch break doing videos. I mean, it's crazy. Build up a following. You never know what can happen, but it can be passive. Just saying. All right. Because financial freedom and your future, you need a financial plan, and time is up. 3 years. You have 3 years. That's it. There's going to be something catastrophic in the financial system. And what's that going to be? When 85% of the people live paycheck to paycheck, and now companies are not going to be able to get money. Businesses are going to be going by the wayside because you won't have enough people to buy anything unless they have credit. Keep that in mind. All right. Now, I talked about the Dominican Republic. We all know the tax reform proposal, Abinader canceled it. We talked about on Monday why that's not going to end up well for the Dominican people. It's not going to end up well for everybody that overpays for real estate. They will have to fix something, because my illustration of that 8.5% loan, and what I didn't tell you guys who's watching, your first year is 8.5. What I didn't tell you is after that, it could be 12.5% loans on houses. And you think that's bad, but hold on, I got more for you. Adjustable. Yes. Can you believe who? 12.5% adjustable loan? In America and around the world, most people live in the EU zone or United States, Australia, even China. People would be like, have you lost your freaking mind? What? Right. Because the Dominican Republic doesn't meet IMF standards and they don't meet the banking standards, they can't borrow money at low interest rates. So therefore, their banks have to charge these ridiculous adjustable rate loans for real estate purchases. This is why they need the foreign investors, because they're the ones that have the money. The Dominicans themselves, generally, their annual pay is not that much. And like I told everybody on Monday, I was actually searching, and I keep getting different varying opinions. And one place I look, it said 8,700. Another place I look says 9,700. Another place I looked before said 24,000 a year was the average annual Dominican salary. Now I find out it could be 10,000. That's catastrophic. So they need this to happen for foreign investment and for their country to move forward individually without needing foreign investment. That is going to be a problem. And that's part of the reason why a lot of the islands end up being where there's a big divide between foreigners who come in and buy that, hillside villa that overlooks the water versus the other shanty town, right? So, and it never, the first time I went to Aruba, I saw something that I never saw before. Is when we pulled out from the airport. The airport's nice, right? We pulled out from the airport, and it seemed like maybe I was talking, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it seemed like as soon as we pulled out of the airport and we went down like 1 kilometer or 2, it looked like, where am I? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Is this what's going to be happening here in Aruba? I was like, this ain't cool. But we drove for about 15 minutes and got to the hotel zone, right? Right past the port. Well, the port's kind of in the hotel zone too, but the port and all that. Then it looked like a tourist destination. But right outside the airport, it did not. But this is how a lot of the islands are, right? In the Caribbean and almost close to South America. So no matter where you go, islands generally can't sustain themselves, because after people buy there, then what? What's the corporation? What's the business? How it's all mom and pops, right? Generally, restaurant here, nightclub there, casino here, beach club here. It's not like you can keep going. It's all tied into hospitality. So now the island itself has to be sustainable. And if your citizens don't make enough money, what are you going to do? Tax them into oblivion where they leave, which is another problem. All right. Oh, I was right on the money the first time. A 72. I did say 72 at first, and I said, is it a 73, 72? Then I said 71, 72, 73. It was 72. Right on the money, man. Thank you so much. Yep, Anna Tops. See, you guys, I told you I had one of these lives that is unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, you guys will not believe this. So Willie Mays was in center field, and that famous catch that he made we were in the stands. That's right. Can you believe that? As a kid, in the stands. And it was just like, whoa, right? Okay, whoa, whoa. You're not thinking it's going to be one of those iconic things over the catch over, that was crazy. And it turns into one of those ESPN wide world of sports type of things that they show over and over to this day. That is incredible. But yeah, I knew it was a Topps card. I knew it was 71, 72, 70, but I did say 72 at first. So give me credit, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I've done so many things that you guys would not believe it. I used to do trading cards. In fact, I have cards that are holograms that some people may not have even seen. They're rare. And I don't think I have them on me, obviously, but there's one, and I don't remember who makes it though. It wasn't Topps. It was what's that new companies that came out? I can't remember. But anyhow, I have a hologram, Mickey Mantle hologram. Not the hologram that you guys are thinking with the colors on it. It's a video. So it's showing him swinging the bat is what the hologram's doing. It's like a video, but it's called a hologram. I've never seen anybody else with them. I know they're out there, but we'll see. We will see. Showing one day. Yeah, but do you still have it? What's the grade on it? And do you have it in an airtight pack? Let me know. All right, let me know. But those are the type of things. Comic books, any collectibles. You can get things even now, and 10 years from now, they're going to be more valuable when it comes to art and collectibles and things like that. But again, if people don't have any money, collectibles are worthless. But here's the other kicker, though. People with disposable income pay for the collectibles, pay for the artwork, pay for the high price watches, right? Those are the guys that won't be affected if there's a bad economy. They won't be affected if you need to make $200,000 a year to survive in your household, right? So that's why you have a couple of moves that you can make right now. Financial freedom in your future is going to be based on let's go with the shelter. In fact, this is something I probably should have showed before. Let me survival. Let me see if I've never done this. Let me see if I can find it. Food, shelter, I don't know, clothing. Yeah, that I want to see this if I can find this real quick. I want to see if I can get an image. Food, shelter, water. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me see. There's some things that they need to show right now because there are valuable things that every human being needs, right? Food, shelter, and water. If you have those things, then you can be independent, right? So I'm looking at another list that I don't like. I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all. But all I'm trying to say is this is how you have to start thinking right now. Okay. Let me see. I think I found one right now where they're going water, food, shelter, transportation, Wi-Fi with cell phone. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you can add that to the list, I guess, but that wasn't the pyramid before. So if I go by that self-esteem, I'm not going by that list. That's not the self-esteem won't matter if you don't have any water. You can only live so long without fresh water. I'll repeat, fresh, right? Then, hey, Eric, one day bring your cards and shows them off. Oh, that would be funny. No, they're in a secret location, which I don't even have access to them right now. They're in storage. So But yeah, one of these days, which won't be anytime soon because they're in Cali in storage, and I'm in Georgia. So I can't get them unless I go back and actually hunt it down. But I have several specialty packs that I have a something that most people in America don't even have. Soccer. Oh, by the way, soccer cards. Unbelievable. Since Brian P collects them, go check out soccer cards, see what they're reselling for. You'll be like, whoa, can you believe I actually have an unopened pack of soccer cards? Probably, I want to say like 1992, something like that. When soccer wasn't well known and still in the United States relatively unknown, even though, some of the stars came over and played with some teams like what is Messi down in Miami, things like that. But I've never opened the pack. It's a box. And I don't even know any, obviously, back in the day, they didn't even show soccer in the United States, period. It was rare. You had to live outside the US. And fortunately for me, I traveled outside the US, so I would see soccer. No, so one day I saw this box. I can't remember where it was. And this guy says, whatever. I mean, it was like cheap, $2.50 for the whole damn unopened box because nobody wanted the soccer boxes. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get one for the hell of it. So I bought it for, like I said, it was probably like $5, but it was so cheap that it was laughable. I was like, I'll take one. And so I used to just buy random stuff like that, and they're not even opened. And I still have packs of other stuff that's not even opened either. That's 40 years old, 50 years old. So yeah, one of these days, in fact, you know what's funny? I might even have that one. I took a few things out of I used to keep some like that card, and it's not even a card really, but that I used to keep with some other, like I have these fossil watches that I got that are old. I got them at an auction. This is story night, but we'll make story night tonight too. Um, oh, there you go. There you go. I have 2 boxes of unopened 1992 NBA. There you go, Brian P. See, Brian P knows what time it is. He's clearly a collectible. He knows what time it is. Forget just going out there buying the ones. Just get the whole damn box. Let me see who was drafted. Let's see. Was that a 1992 draft class? First round. Let's go look. I don't think there was. Hopefully, there's somebody. Hopefully, it's somebody. Oh, there's somebody, all right. But I don't know how much Shaquille O'Neal's number 1 card goes for. Shaquille O'Neal, number 1. Oh, this is a good one. That has Alonzo Mourning. It has, well, Christian Laettner only from the standpoint of college-wise. And the pros, he wasn't that good. Tom Gugliotta, Latrell Sprewell, but those cards aren't going to be that nice. But PJ Brown, Shaquille O'Neal, and then there's only 5. Yeah, Gugliotta, Leighton Brown. Wow. Number of picks, 54, but that doesn't give us the whole thing, though, because there's nobody down below. Robert Ory was drafted number 11. He might be a name people would know. But other than that, there's nobody on this list. John Barry, Dave Johnson, Syracuse, Byron Hughes. No, there's nobody really on this list. Walt Williams, nope. LaFonso Ellis, nope. Jim Jackson, 4. All right, I got kicked out again. Upper Deck. Oh, that's the one. Upper Deck, man, great. Upper Deck. That was well, also is it foil packs? I mean, remember Upper Deck had several different types, but it doesn't matter. Upper Deck was the one at the time in 92 NBA wise. So and there's variations. But Shaquille O'Neal, Upper Deck. That's the one we're looking for. That's the one you're hunting for. If you ever opened it up. Trading card value, Upper Deck. Let's go look. I'm assuming his is probably the most yeah, his rookie card. What's this? At Target, it's $30. But see, this is the thing. Upper Deck special is $6,000. That's selling on eBay right now. That's an Upper Deck. I'm pretty sure that's probably after the fact. Or, well, Shaq was pretty much rumored to be. Yeah, Upper Deck rookie SP, rookie number 1. It's a 10, which yours would be a 10 as well. There's somebody's trying to sell it for $6,000 on eBay. I don't think that's going to happen. But then again, there's another one on eBay for $14,999. There's several. Then there's a regular Upper Deck McDonald's rookie. 43 is not worth anything. Another 92 at Fanatics is $3,000. So you have potential out of 2 boxes. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few Shaquille O'Neal. There's another one, $4,000 on eBay. Several. So it could be valuable depending if it's mint, which it'll be. Then that might have a little cachet. His rookie error card, somebody's trying to sell for $11,000. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my God. Eric, you got kicked out. Yep, got kicked out again. I guess they don't like us talking about trading cards. But nonetheless, I'm going to run, ladies and gentlemen, but make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube guys know that you were here. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll see you on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before I let you go, I have to brag about our SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, which I completely forgot about. Because I was going to that pyramid where we need food, shelter, and water. There we go. All right. So let's go here. Here's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Go to stopstrugglingnow.com or ssnlifestyle.com to get your tickets today. $199 per person. Again, the bank, the lawyers, the business. If you want to start a business, if you want to get into real estate, this is why we go see lawyers. You want to get your bank account opened. Starting in the next 7 to 10 days, everybody who's coming shall start receiving an email from me that will simply state, if you want to open up a bank account, you need to send it to this person. I'll let you know who it is, and which is usually with the lawyers, and I'll be their assistant. They'll get it all hooked up. Remember, DR is in like the 1980s with banking. You'll be in there for 5 hours and still will not have a bank account. You won't. So we bypass all that by getting it done, because you have to have your 2024 tax returns. You have to have your 6 months worth of bank statements, and you're going to need 2 forms of ID. And they could have changed even that over the last 6-8 months. But those are the staples. And then we go in, have the people go in, get you approved. So when you do show up, all you have to do is go to the bank, and it's still going to take you an hour because they have to have a wet signature for everything. So just so you know. So at least you're not going to be there for 5 hours and have to come back another day to do something else. So it's all taken care of. And that's what we like to do, streamline it if you want to open up a bank account. Why open a bank account? If you're doing real estate, you want to move money through your bank account because you may need them for lending later, right? So you'll have a track record. They'll be like, oh, okay, yes, we see 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 coming in, and then he transfers it out. But see, they just want to see activity, right? So then now you can get a loan for it. You understand. And you'll also have a track record of payments coming through. So they'll be like, oh, we're only giving him a loan for $600 a month, and he's been sending over here $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 every month. So, you know, they feel a little sigh of relief that way too. So they're vetting you at the same time. Business, SRL. We have the SSN Lifestyle SRL. If you're interested in real estate or business in the Dominican Republic, you can hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com, and we can discuss. We do have several pre-construction projects. One that's inside Vistacana. 7 Palms projects are good pricing right now. $99,000 for a 1-bedroom, or $135,000 for a 1-bedroom, depending on which project. One, you want beach view, that's $150,000, $149,000 now, which gives you a man-made beach view, which gives you, if you're renting it out, gives you a higher rental value, and it's inside Vistacana that has amenities galore, including beach clubs with restaurants and a fishing lake and all kind of things. The beach club itself has fitness room and restaurants and children's playground area and kiddie pool and a massive pool that's like 20 yards by almost damn near 20 yards. And that's at each one of these beach clubs is going to have, and man-made beach, salt water, and it's not at the beach. It's awesome. So these are the type of things that we're looking at, and here it is. And this special SSN Nation payment plans, usually when we're there, on a Wednesday, we go around to check out some projects, and there may be projects that do things like 20, 40, 40. 20% down, 40% during construction, 40% on delivery. We sometimes are lucky enough to get things like 15% down, 45% during delivery, if we got to still pay the 40%, right? Or 15% down and 30% during construction. We try to get these SSN Nation deals that are good for a week, or while we're there to a week generally. So that's some of the advantages that you have. Or in other instances, you find out about projects first. Generally, the friends and family rate, meaning something might cost like $90,000, but by the time it comes to the open market, it's $99,000 or $109,000. So you just never know when it comes. We've been fortunate enough for the last few times that things have come up like that. It just so happens while we're there, things were just released like a week before or a few days before. It just so happened to coincide. So we've been very fortunate, and a lot of people have taken advantage of the situation if they were interested in real estate. Now, the $199 price is very simple. That does not include airfare or hotel. And I suggest you stay in Los Corrales. So go check it out yourself. Go to ssnlifestyle.com or stopstrugglingnow.com. Either way, you can buy tickets at either locations. As soon as we get over a certain number of tickets, the price goes up $50 more. All right. So we're going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody for being here. Hopefully I'll see you on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you get your financial groove on over the next 2 years. You got to be diligent about this. They're going to leave you behind. You got to stop buying the liabilities and concentrate on getting assets, because in 2.5 years, you're going to thank me later. All right. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but that's why I'm being adamant about it for the next 2 years, especially the next year, because after they reduce the interest rates, a year from now, when the interest rates drop another 1 to 2%, things are going to be flying in some sort of direction, because people are going to be able to borrow and the money will be flowing. But that just means prices are going to increase. and it's going to cost more to live. So just keep all of that in mind. And with all that said, make sure you guys stay out of trouble. Hey, Eric, Fernando Valenzuela, Dodgers pitcher, passes away. Exactly. He was only 63 years old. I know about that. 63 years old. He passed away, which is, it's incredible. All right. It's sad. That's considered young, in my opinion. So, but it happens. You just never know when you're going to check out. This is why I have the policy of making sure as you go through life that you live how you want to live, but at the same time, don't hold back saying, I'm going to do this when I'm 50. I'm going to do this when I'm 60. I'm going to do this when I retire, because you may not make that. So you might as well enjoy your life while you're living instead of waiting for later. And by the way, as you get older, you have more health concerns. Your body breaks down unless you are taking care of yourself. Eating properly, sleeping properly, getting a few checkups every now and then. Your eyes should be every year, every other year at least. Because from your eyes, sometimes they can tell something's wrong with your functions in your body, just so everybody knows. So a lot of places have free eye exam. They want you to buy glasses, of course, if you need them. But I'm just saying, you need these little checkups. That's why healthcare is so important. And that's why healthcare for all is so important, because that alleviates, health. Your wealth is health. All right. So just make sure you do that. I'm making happen now. Exactly. Brian P. is exactly right. You're putting in the work earlier. So then, but the point is, you can't just sit there and do what a lot of people have done. Again, I should talk about this story on Friday night, because I do stories on Friday night. But I used to work, I told stories about Delta Dental before, and I'll give a short synopsis. We were in the union, and we had a week. I can't remember exactly, but let's just say we had 7 days sick and 7 days vacation time, right? Paid. So for me, since I never get sick, that's 14 days that I can just call in sick or do a vacation, right? That's the way I looked at it, up to 14. So I started taking off on Fridays. And so what I would do is, so 14 is that's 2.5 months a year, right? And then you already have we have 7 or 8 holidays during the year, or 10 or whatever. I don't remember, 7, 8 holidays. So anyhow, Thursday, when I get off, I get on a plane and I leave. I come back Sunday evening, right? So again, even though you're working, I was doing that. And then when I would say simple things, I went to Mexico. And people be like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I left at 2:00. The flight left at 3. I was in Mexico at 5:30. And I was there until Sunday at 6:30, 7 at night. Got back home at 9. Woke up this morning, came to work. And they were like, what? And everybody knows what everybody gets paid. But I said, I'm not on your guys' schedules that you guys plan and do all this. I'm just like, I gotta go. So I was doing things, like I said, not every week, but every other week. It was like, can you believe they changed what you could do because of what I was doing? It was crazy. All of a sudden they call and say, hey, we're changing the vacation criteria. You have to work the day before and the day after, or whatever, something along that line. I was like, wait, what does that mean? So I can't take off on Friday anymore? What are you saying? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? So it was crazy stuff like that. So then I said, okay, this is, so I did another maneuver, which I'll talk to you guys about later. But the fact of the matter is, I'm sitting there traveling to places that most people go for vacation. I'm doing that in a little 3-day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3-night, 4 days. I'm traveling on anywhere I want to that can get there, basically staying within Mexico, Cali, SoCal, Nevada, not past the Mississippi, basically, right? And on down to Mexico. So people would always think, why is he doing that? I'm like, because I never know what's going to happen, So why am I going to sit around? I have friends that already passed away. And then as I get older, I have friends that pass away all the damn time. It's crazy. That's what it feels like anyhow. It's like every freaking month I get like 2 more people that I went to high school with passes away. It's crazy. So nobody's that old. Nobody's like 70, 80 years old. All right. It's crazy. So you have to think about that. And then you have to think about what happens when these people worked until you're 40, well, until you're 60 years old. And then you decide to do something, but then maybe you don't walk as well. Maybe so there's aches, right? So that's some things that I always thought about. And so that's why I never let any grass grow under my feet. But again, I was fortunate enough to always have some sort of passive income coming in, businesses and things like that. So again, instead of putting money in the 401k, I'm putting money in my own 401k. See, I was like, man, I'm with Vanguard Group. I was with Franklin Templeton. I was with all these guys. And I would be like trying to tell my coworkers, I'd be like, guys, you guys just earn like 8.5% because you're in the company 401k. But look, I'm with Franklin Templeton. I'm with the Vanguard Group. Look, it's 15% return. You guys, and look, last year, it was like 9%. And look, last year, it was 20%. But I was like, why are you doing this? Stop it. You can make more money. Look at these dividend funds. Look, I was giving them the whole playbook. But of course, being younger, who listens to some guy that's 25 years old, 24 years old, 27 years old, right? They're like, what's this black guy talking about? What's he saying? I'm like, what do you mean? You got to make money. You don't want to come here for the rest of your life, do you? They said, yes, I do. I want to retire here and get my pension fund. I'm like, okay, well, nice plan, but I got other things I need to do. So just keep that in mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with all that said, be safe out here. People are under stress and duress. Make sure you stay safe. Watch your six. Watch everything, because you never know what somebody has up in their head. All right. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.